Good day, students! Welcome back to our online learning discussion, and we are now on our week 4. This is Miss Michelle Joy, your social studies teacher for grade 7, 8, and 9 students bilingual program of Sarasas PTA School. Let's proceed to our online discussion now. Our subject is social studies, and our topic for this week is about Unit 7, which is History of Southeast Asia in the Prehistoric Age. These are the words that we will be encountering in our next slides. If you cannot understand, you are always free to open up your dictionary, or you can Google these following words so that you will understand the topic more. You can always repeat after me so you can practice your reading skills. A. Prehistoric age. B. Golden land. C. Empirical. D. Archaeological. E. Animism. F. Fossil. G. Indigenous. H. Complex. I. Nomadic. J. Artifacts.
The region's most advanced early civilization was the Khmer. From the 800s AD to the mid-1200s, the Khmer controlled a large empire in what is now Cambodia. The remains of Angkor Wat, a huge temple complex the Khmer built in the 1100s, reflects their advanced civilization in Hindu culture. In the 1200s, the Thai from southern China settled in the Khmer area. Around the same time, Buddhism, introduced earlier from India and Sri Lanka, began replacing Hinduism in the region. As in many parts of the world, European powers started colonizing Southeast Asia during the 1500s. Led by Portugal, European powers came to the region in search of spices and trade goods. In 1521, Ferdinand Magellan reached the Philippines and claimed this island for Spain. The Spaniards who followed came to colonize trade and spread Catholicism. This is why today much of that country remains Roman Catholic and speaks Spanish. In the 1600s and 1700s, Dutch traders drove the Portuguese out of the region. Portugal only remained in control of the small island of Timor. The Dutch, however, gained control of the tea and spice trade in what became known as the Dutch East Indies, now called Indonesia. In the 1800s, the British and French set up colonies. Many people from China and India came to work in the colonies. The British and French spread Christianity as well, especially in eastern Indochina. In 1898, the United States entered the region when it won the Philippines from Spain in the Spanish-American War. By the early 1900s, colonial powers ruled much of the region. Only Siam, now known as Thailand, was never colonized. In World War II, Japan invaded and occupied most of Southeast Asia. But after Japan lost the war, the United States gave the Philippines independence, and soon, other people in the region began to fight for their independence. One of the bloodiest wars for independence was in the French area of Indochina. In 1954, the French finally left. Indochina split into independent countries: Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. By 1970, most of Southeast Asia had thrown off colonial rule. The move towards independence was not easy. In Vietnam, the fighting to oust the French left the country divided between North and South. A civil war broke out between the communist North Vietnamese and the nationalist South. The United States sent troops in to defend the South. The U.S. based its decision to send troops on a criterion known as the domino theory. And this was the belief that if one country fell to communism, all other countries nearby would also fall like dominoes. Years of war caused millions of deaths and had terrible destruction. In the end, North and South Vietnam reunited as the communists conquered the rest of the country. As the communists took over, 1 million refugees fled Vietnam, and most went to the United States. Civil wars also raged in Cambodia and Laos. In 1975, communist forces took over both countries, and the government in Cambodia was brutal, causing the deaths of more than 1 million people. Fighting continued in this region of Indochina until the mid-1990s. the United Nations finally helped Cambodia achieve. The countries of Southeast Asia have many ethnic groups. As an example, Indonesia has more than 300 ethnic groups. Most of the countries have one main ethnic group, plus a smaller one. Not surprisingly, many languages are spoken throughout the region. These languages include native languages and dialects, Chinese, and other European languages. In terms of religion, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, and Islam dominate the region. Buddhism is the main faith on the mainland. This is where you'll find beautiful wats or Buddhist temples. Islam is found mostly in the region of Malaysia, Brunei, and Indonesia. In the Philippines, most people are Roman Catholic, and Hinduism is practiced in Indian communities on the island of Bali and throughout Myanmar. The customs of the region will vary widely. Customs like dance and music are very popular throughout the region. In addition, many people will wear traditional clothing such as sarongs, which are strips of cloth worn and wrapped around the body.
So Southeast Asia in the prehistorical age. Southeast Asia was once called Suvarnabhumi, which means the Golden Land. Recently, a newer theory has claimed that Suvarnabhumi has always had its natives. They were ancestors of people living on this land nowadays. Empirical, archaeological, and documentary evidence show human beings settled down in this region more than 500,000 years ago. They never migrated down from China as previously said. Then, there were stages of development for mankind and society, from hunter-gatherers to agricultural settlements and formation of village communities. So, our airport is named Suvarnabhumi Airport, and in English, it means the Golden Land. Okay, so many natives came from this land, and they were ancestors of people living on this land nowadays, which are Thai people. So empirical, archaeological, and documentary evidence show human beings settled down in this region, and they never migrated down from China as what some people believed. Then they were stages of development. So nowadays, this place is very modern because of the stages of development that had happened from 500,000 years ago to present days. So class, natives also believe in animism. What is animism, by the way? So animism is the religious belief that all living things have a spirit and or a soul. There is no deity or God in animism. Animists believe that all living things contribute to the world and should be respected and or feared. So, as you can see in the picture class, these are cave paintings that showed that the prehistorical age human beings believed in animism. So class, we have proof of prehistorical animal life existing in the area we now call Southeast Asia long before human. So an elephant's jaw was found in a Konrachasima province dating back to 25 million years ago. That was very long time ago, class. Also, a tiger's fossil teeth were found in Lampang province. Not also a tiger fossil's teeth, but also a hyena's teeth. So these were just few evidence that animals existed long before human beings existed. That's why they believe in animism. Animists are the people that considered animals as gods and goddesses. So class, it has been proved that more than 3,000 years ago, people in Suvarnabhumi possessed an indigenous culture. This can be seen by evidence and artifacts found. So then came a cultural revolution with the arrival of religions, languages, arts, and science from India and China respectively. The tribes in Suvarnabhumi adopted those new ideas naturally. So these ethnic groups interrelated in various ways, socially and culturally over years. One group became the Thais of Thailand today. The country remains multi-ethnic and multicultural until now. So class Thailand is considered as a multi-ethnic and multicultural. Why multi-ethnic? Because there are so many Thais that have another blood aside from Thai blood. We have Thai Chinese, we have Thai Indian, and another types of foreign blood. Also, Thailand is also considered as multicultural because they also celebrate Christmas even if they are not Christians. They celebrate Ramadan even if they are not Muslims. And some people do vegetarian even if they are not Chinese. And also many Thai people celebrate Thai Chinese New Year even if they are Thais, even if their New Year is Songkran festival. They also celebrate Thai Chinese New Year, which they call Spring Festival. Class, aside from animal fossils that were found in Thailand, they also found human fossil in some provinces of Thailand. So prehistorical human beings fossil bone found in Mae Hong Son province, as you can see in the picture. And during that period, people had not settled in large communities but lived in small groups, which they call nomads. So when you say nomads, these are people that has no permanent address. They keep moving from one place to another place. So class, we are now finished with our week 4 online learning discussion. And I wanted to know if you were able to understand our topic. So I prepared some questions for you guys to answer. So activity number 4, briefly answer the following questions. Number 1, what do you mean by Suvarnabhumi, which I explained to you already. Number 2, what country in Southeast Asia called Land of the Free? Number 3, what do you mean by Animism? Number 4, what do you mean by nomad? And number 5, what do you mean by fossil? Class, if you cannot remember the answers of this question or the meaning of these words, you can always play back the video that I have prepared for you for our online learning discussion for week 4 so you can answer these given questions. So class, we are done with our week 4 online learning discussion, and I hope that you did understand our topic for this week. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving your 15 minutes for our online learning week 4, and I'll see you next week. Bye everyone!